Welcome back to the Deep Six Wrestling Podcast. It is Monday, May 23rd, 2022. I'm Pat. It's just me. We're here to talk about Best of the Super Juniors, as has been the case for the past week or so. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about nights 5 and 6 of the tournament. So this is our last little run of these separate block shows, and then beginning on Tuesday. So tomorrow, it's going to be dual block. So we're going to have 10 tournament matches each night. So it'll be, for moving forward, each of these review shows is most likely just going to be one night per episode. So, just 10 matches on each review show, because that makes sense. Because we're already doing 10 now, 5 and 5, so with them together. Just so we're not sitting here and doing like 20 match reviews or whatever for my sanity, and to keep the episodes at a short little, brief listen, so you can come in, listen to what you want to, and get out. If you're not subscribed to the podcast yet, please consider doing so on the podcast streamers, so like Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google, or over on YouTube. You can find the links that you need in the episode description, but we appreciate subscriptions everywhere. Be sure to leave a like and comment if you're on YouTube. It helps us with the all-knowing algorithm, and you'll help us continue to grow. We'll respond to your comments. If you leave any, let us know who you think's going to win Best of the Super Juniors, what your favorite matches have been so far, who you think's the MVP so far, whatever you want. Just, comment it down below, and we'll take note and talk about it. You can also follow us over on Twitter, at Deep Six Wrestling, without the G. And this week we have a decently busy week, I would say. We have Best of the Super Juniors continuing. We have the Go Home show for AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. So that's Wednesday, which we'll have a review for. The Impact Wrestling Power Hour is back once again. We're on the road to Slammiversary in just a few weeks here, June 19th. And then we'll have our predictions for Double or Nothing later this week. And then we'll have our review for Double or Nothing, I guess, Sunday or next Monday. So keep your eyes tuned to the podcast. We will be covering lots of stuff. Yeah, I think that's everything that we need to talk about before hopping on into the Best of Super Juniors review. So we're just going to kick things off here with night 5 of the tournament. And as has been the case with the others, we are going to just go over the results for the pre-tournament tag matches, but not talking about them really. So on night 5 here, which was May 21st, which was Saturday, we have Jado, El Lindemann, and Titan, or Teton, however you want to say it, taking on Dick Togo, Gato, and El Phantasma, with Lindemann getting the win for his team. Master Wato and Tenzan lost to Shingo and Bushi. And Tiger Mask, Robbie Eagles, and Wheeler Yuta defeated the team of Taka Michinoku, Doki, and El Desperado, which would send us into our tournament matches. Kicking things off with Show and Clark Connors. I said it on the nights 3 and 4 review, but I really do want to like Show, and I thought this was out of the matches he's had so far in this tournament, I feel like I liked this one probably the most, but I think that was probably largely in part due to Clark. Again, I just think Clark is just a wonderful talent, and I thoroughly enjoy watching him. Show's just like, I really just, I'm never entertained with the House of Torture stuff. So, you know, I guess if you're into that, then good for you and you'll enjoy more show stuff than me, but it just doesn't do much for me. It's there. It happens. Um, I don't know. It shows such an interesting character when we look at it. He was somebody who had so much potential as just like this future ace of the junior division, somebody that you could really build around, and he got saddled with this murder machine, House of Torture stuff with the wrench and using the chair and always going for countouts. Just rinse and repeat with him for the most part. So I'm hoping he'll have at least like one standout, really great match this tournament. I don't know if it'll happen, but this was not it. He did get his first win, though. He won with a schoolboy. So Show beat Clark Connors, which would send Clark to being 0-3, and Show would move on to be 1-2. That would send us to Francesco Akira taking on Ryusuke Taguchi. And, yeah, this was Taguchi and Francesco. Thought this was perfectly fine as well. Definitely not Francesco's best match compared to, I mean, he was coming off his match with Hiromu, which I thought was fantastic. So he's going against the Buttman. I don't really think anybody was coming into this expecting this to be like a blowaway match. I was a bit surprised here that Taguchi got the win. So, yeah, I don't know. I expected Francesco to have a hotter start this tournament. Again, still decently early. Things can heat up for the guy. But, yeah. This isn't a match that I would say you really need to go out of your way to watch. But if you are somebody who wants to just get acquainted with this new guy, the Fireball Francesco, then by all means, go watch it. It's not too long. It's under 15 minutes. And it's not like you're going to be watching something that's, like, terrible. So, but both guys coming out of this would be 1-2 in the tournament so far. We would get Yo versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I will continue to beat the drum that I still find Kanemaru to be incredibly underrated. I think the guy can still go very, very well. And Yo, guy is all over the place in terms of how he delivers. Sometimes he's really good. Other times he's just kind of boring in there. I thought this was somewhere in the middle. Not the most exciting matchup, but again, far from anything bad, I would say. I'm still holding out hope that this is going to be his tournament to win, and we're going to see a big turnaround from the guy. I don't know if that's just me being hopelessly optimistic, but you never know. This could be the year that Yo breaks out as a singles guy, I guess. As for Kanemaru, I do not expect him to have a big tournament. He is 0-3 coming out of this, with Yo picking up the win with the direct drive. I don't even know who I think Kanemaru is going to get a win over. I really don't know. I think he'll get at least one win. But we'll see. Probably, but I'd say Clark, but you could have Clark beat Kanemaru. I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see. But yeah, Yo got the win. That would send us to our two main event level matches here. And I will say, I do think these went in the wrong order in terms of how much they delivered for me. So we had Ace Austin versus Hiromu. This was a big matchup that I was looking forward to here, and I came out of this thoroughly satisfied. I thought Ace Austin is continuing just a great tournament so far. I will continue to gush about him. I love him in Impact. I love him in New Japan. The more Ace Austin, the better. And I thought, getting to see him go up against Hiromu in a big one-on-one match here, I think it was really good. I thought both guys delivered in spades. I thought they did really well to make it look like Ace Austin had a chance to win this one. But obviously that wasn't the case. Hiromu won with the time bomb too. And there is obviously the interesting, booking decision where you have like your top junior guy pinning the X Division champion. Impact has a big Ultimate X match happening at Slammiversary, and we don't know everybody who's in it. There's still a number of slots that have yet to be filled. Hiromu probably will be coming over for Forbidden Door on the 26th. Could we see Hiromu enter Ultimate X and go for the X Division title? You know, he has a win over Ace Austin. I think it's possible at the very least. And if he's not an Ultimate X, I could see him challenging at like an Impact Plus show. But I do think eventually we will probably see Hiromu in Impact challenging for the X Division title. And I think that's really cool. So seeing these guys run it back again for a title, I'd be very down. So yeah, this is a match I would say go out of your way to watch. This was really good stuff, and I think Ace and Hiromu, they're two of the stars of the tournament. And our main event would be Ishimori and Alex Zane, which I thought this was still good. I just would have probably preferred Ace and Hiromu in the main event, especially because Ace I don't think has any main events. So I don't know. I feel like giving Ace and Hiromu, it just would have been nicer. Ishimori and Alex Zane, it was good. It just wasn't as special for me. It was just continually... So we're now in the tournament here. We're targeting Alex Zane's left shoulder. So that's going to be going on for the next week or so. I'm sure people are just going to be absolutely obliterating this thing. And yeah, Ishimori's the champ, so I didn't expect him to take many losses here. I certainly didn't think Alex Zane was going to be one to hand it to him. But I don't know. I didn't need this one in the main event. I understand that, you want to give the champion as many main events as you can. But Hiromu and Ace, I think it was a bigger match, at least for me. Bigger and better. I still thought this was good. I thought Zane, I thought similarly to Hiromu and Ace, they had me believing Alex Zane was going to steal, or not really steal, but, come out with a surprise victory here over the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. I thought, his selling was pretty good of selling his arm injury. And Ishimori, he plays a methodical heel pretty well, I would say. Yeah. It was good, not great. But out of the matches on tonight, or on night 5, I would definitely say go out of your way to watch Ace and Hiromu. And Zayn and Ishimori, those were definitely the two best matches on the show. The rest of them, honestly, you can probably skip the rest. But if you want to watch, Francesco to get more acquainted with him, then watch him versus Taguchi as your 3 matches for this for night 5. Ishimori would win with the bone lock, though, so that would send him to 3-0. So still undefeated in the tournament. I believe him and Hiromu are the only people in A block that are undefeated. So, yeah. So that is the A block done with night 5, which means that we will be moving right on along to the next night of B block, which is night 6 of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. So moving along, we're heading into night 6 for the tournament, which is over in the B block. And as per the usual, we're going to do the pre-tournament tag matches. So Jado, Tenzan, and Yo teamed up here on May 22nd, taking on the team of Tiger Mask, Alex Zane, Ace Austin, and Clark Connors, with Zane picking up the win for his team. We had Taiji Ishimori and Gato defeating Dick Togo and Sho. As somebody who skipped that match, that sounds like that was probably awful. And Shingo and Hiromu taking on Taka Michinoku and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, with Shingo getting the win for his team. And that would send us to our tournament matches. And we kick things off with Robbie Eagles versus Doki. Commentary here noted, Kevin Kelly, that Doki, heading into this match, was 0-3 against Robbie Eagles. I was sitting here, and I was like, man, they're going to do it. They're going to give Doki this win. Doki, he was hammering it home that Doki has never beaten Robbie Eagles. And I was just like, I was so certain. I was so certain that Doki was going to get the win here and come out of this one on top. And I was wrong. This was heartbreaking. I thought these guys had a really fun opening match. I will say that. I thought that they just worked really well together. I still don't know how I feel about Robbie Eagles in shorts. I will continue to say that. I I just prefer him with the pants. But I thought these guys, had a really fun match here. I'm not upset that Robbie won. I was just, for my predictions, I'm upset since I had Doki. But, Eagles is always entertaining, so I'm not going to complain. And again, they really had me with when they and the crowd bought it too when Robbie locked in the Ron Miller special towards the end of this match, and we had the crowd just erupt here with clapping for Doki, and Doki looked like he was going to get out of it, and he missed the ropes. And Robbie got him back in the center, and he tapped. I thought it was a really good finish. So they got me, but that means Doki is now 0-4 against Robbie Eagles. So this man's eventually going to need to break this streak, but it was not tonight. With Doki tapping out to the Ron Miller special, which sends Robbie Eagles to 2-1 and Doki to 1-2. We got El Lindemann versus TJP. El Lindemann is continuing to just shine in this tournament for the B block. I think this guy is wonderful. I'm loving everything I'm seeing from him. And again, TJP, I'll continue to say it. I said it in the last review. You may not like TJP the person, but as a wrestler, this guy is smooth as silk. This guy is just a very, very good and talented professional wrestler, and I can't ignore that. I thought these guys had a pretty solid match here. I'm just, I'm watching everything that El Lindemann does very closely now, just because I'm falling in love with this guy as a wrestler. Also, I do want to say I do like TJP's United Empire theme. I haven't mentioned that since I started reviewing this tournament, but I do think I like it a little bit. The right person won in this one. For my money, El Lindemann got the win with his German suplex, his bridging German suplex, and he would go to 2-1 as TJP goes to 1-2. This is one I would recommend. I definitely recommend these first two matches. El Lindemann, TJP, and Robbie and Doki, I think both were pretty good matches. We got then the match this was probably one of my least anticipated matches of the entire tournament, Master Wato and Bushi. And, unsurprisingly, I tuned out of this one. These guys are just, I don't even know. I find both of these guys pretty boring for the most part. And, I think Wato's improving, but he needs a good opponent. And Bushi, I've said numerous times for the past few years when we cover New Japan, I just find Bushi to be the most boring person on the roster. So this one wasn't really for me. I would not recommend sitting. Wait. This is about 10 minutes. I don't necessarily recommend just taking 10 minutes of your. If you're on a tight schedule and you're not watching everything, this is the match to skip. Everything else, all the other 4 matches, I would highly recommend. Bushi and Wato, I would not. Bushi got the win with the MX. This was a match that existed. The next two, however, very good stuff. Our semi and our main event, we had again. I always just see his name and I want to say Titan, but Kevin Kelly says Teton or I think it's Teton. So Teton versus El Phantasmo here. I thought this was great. I thought this was a fantastic match. I thought this was the best Teton looked the entire tournament so far. I thought he really matched El Phantasmo's just dickhead energy by just being like, oh, you want to play funny? I'll show you up even further. I thought he just really excelled here. I thought his in-ring charisma was on display. There was a spot in this match where he went for a fake out suicide dive. Fuck with El Phantasmo. And he does the fake out suicide dive and just jumps over onto the floor and celebrates. And then El Phantasmo comes out and just kicks him right in the chest and knocks him down. I thought this spot would have been better if El Phantasmo nailed him with a super kick and Teton just died off this. I just thought that would have flowed a bit better, especially because then El Phantasmo went into his taunt. I just felt but it was just a kick to the chest that made him tip over. So it didn't really look too impactful, whereas I felt if we had just a big super kick from Phantasmo here, especially seeing how this match finished, the one he gave to him later, Jesus Christ. If we had gotten it here, I think it just would have been a more exciting little spot. But again, I just thought these two had a really fun time in here. I thought both guys did really well. I thought, it came out like this is another match where I felt like either guy really could win this. Teton, his springboard double stomp looks so good. The UFOL Phantasmo gave him later in the match also looked really good. We had some good near falls here, which was helpful since I'm not too familiar with Teton's moveset. And eventually, El Phantasmo would rip the mask off of him, but would play it off as an accident, which meant he did not get DQ'd, and this allowed him to hit this monster super kick, or thrust kick as Kevin Kelly called it, which Teton just like took a neck bump off of, and that allowed Phantasmo to get the CR2 and pick up the win. I thought this was just a ton of fun. This is definitely a match that you should go out of your way to watch. These two clicked. I would love to see them run this back at some point. I don't know where or why, but more El Phantasmo and Teton together. These guys were great together. And that would send us to our main event. And I think this is a match that a lot of people were probably looking forward to, with the ROH Pure Division champion Wheeler Yuta, representing Ring of Honor and AEW, taking on El Desperado, one of the favorites to win this entire tournament, I think. And yeah, I thought these guys clicked really well. This was Wheeler Yuta's best showing in the tournament so far, I think. And Desperado, you always know what you're getting with Desperado, just high quality wrestling. I thought these guys did really well together. I thought Wheeler Yuta looked strong in defeat. Yeah, I would these last two matches are two that I would definitely go recommend. Like, I think they had Desperado hit 2 Pinche Locos here to beat Yuta, so it's not like it just took one, which again, that plays into Yuta's thing of just, having a really strong heart and having to really, really beat the fight out of him, as we saw with Moxley. So, yeah, Desperado would win this, but I thought Wheeler looked really good here. I think that this was definitely his best showing since coming to Japan. Not the strongest start to the tournament, which I think a lot of people were expecting for him. But hopefully, as we continue moving forward, he can get some more, meaningful matches here. But on this show, I definitely think the standout performer for me was Teton. I thought he just did so good on this show. I think him and El Phantasmo and Yuta and Desperado are the two matches you have to watch from night 6. And then if you want more, Lindemann and TJP and Eagles and Doki are both very good as well. So night 6, I think, was a very strong night. The only match that really didn't do anything for me was Wado and Bushi. But that was only 10 minutes, so it's not like it was like a 20-minute match that bored me to tears or anything. So yeah, so that's where we're at. I'll give the point standings update for our predictions for those who care. So coming out of night 6 here, our overall scores, Angelo is in last place with 15 points. Joey has 18. Rob has 29. Or sorry, not 29. Jesus Christ. Rob has 19. As a typo. I have 21, and Ryan is in the lead with 22. So still anybody's game here. Angelo has slowly been catching up here. He's been having a few good nights, as me and Ryan have kind of slowed down and had not the best luck. So everybody's starting to come in a little bit closer. Nobody's pulling away. So that is a little more exciting. And as we come into the next night here, we have... let me run down the card here. We have Alex Zane versus Francesco Akira. So I'll just say this is the breakdown for night 7 of the tournament, I believe. And this is the first dual block night where we have A and B block. So we have Alex Zane versus Francesco Akira. I believe Joey and me have Alex Zane, Ryan, Rob, and Angelo have Francesco Akira. Teton versus TJP. Myself, Rob and Angelo have TJP. Ryan and Joey have Teton. Taguchi versus Clark Connors. Angelo, Ryan, and myself have Taguchi. Angelo, Ryan, and myself have Taguchi. Rob and Joey have Clark Connors. Bushi versus Wheeler Yuta. Angelo has Bushi. The rest of us have Wheeler Yuta. Ace Austin versus Yo. Joey and Angelo have Ace Austin. Rob, Ryan, and myself have Yo. El Phantasmo versus Doki. Angelo, myself, and Ryan have El Phantasmo. Rob and Joey have Doki. Master Wado versus Robbie Eagles. Myself and Angelo have Master Wado. The rest of them have Robbie Eagles. Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus Hiromu Takahashi. Joey is on an island here with Kanemaru picking up the win. Taiji Ishimori versus Sho. We have Angelo and Rob have Taiji Ishimori. Joey, Ryan, and myself have Sho. And in the main event, El Desperado versus El Lindaman. It's a sweep for El Desperado. All of us have El Desperado picking up the win. So that is our predictions for the next night of tournament action. We will be back with a review for that tomorrow on Tuesday. After that show airs in the morning, I will be waking up and watching it, and I will record a review. Maybe I'll get Ryan to do it with me. Who knows? So thank you for tuning in. Remember, leave a comment down below with who you think is going to win Best of the Super Juniors. Tell us what your favorite match has been. Who's your MVP so far? And if you have any questions for us about the tournament, feel free to drop them. Or if you just want to support us, you can just leave a comment. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you're on YouTube. Leave a review for us if you're listening on Apple or Spotify. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys in the next episode. So thank you for listening.